I would check eBay, see if you can find a replacement part for it, and go from there. But you also might want to check eBay and see how much a similar laptop would cost, and see if the price difference is to the point where you're like, well, I'll just get this used laptop instead of trying to tear this thing apart.
Yeah, it's just, unfortunately, there's not much I'm going to be able to do about this. I think the GPU's dead. I really do. Clean it out, see if it's not just overheating. But I've had this problem before, and the GPU died.
This is what happened. You never run a graphics processor or a CPU without cooling, because even just once of a full on overheat
can destroy it.
Yeah, you
even with the emergency thermal sensors in place, which, by the way, sounds like your emergency thermal sensor failed.
Yeah,
which sucks. So I would say clean it out, and if that doesn't
slowing down, then it might still work.
It might be clocking it back, but it's not. It's not. Well, if it's slowing down, it's clocking it back, but it's not sending the power off signal like it should.
Yeah, and the blue screens normally mean physical hardware damage in this situation.
Yeah, blue screen usually means irreversible damage, but...
Merry Christmas, buy a new thing.
Merry Christmas, go spend your money.
Blue screen means the card shut off.
Blue screen could mean that there was an emergency interrupt in the drivers. It could mean that. Or...
you only see it because he has a second graphics card.
Yeah, and you're only seeing it because you have a second graphics card. Maybe, we'll see. Clean it out and get back to us, but honestly, I think after you clean it out and it doesn't do anything, it doesn't fix it, it's dead. DOA on. All right, Zombie now has a couple of questions for us. I want to buy a second SSD for my PC since the first one has only 60 gigabytes, which is good enough for Windows 7 programs. So I looked and I found two that seem promising. The first one is a Mushkin Kronos SSD, or Kronos Deluxe / Kronos MX. The other one is the SanDisk G25 G3 Extreme SSD, all are SATA 3. Can you recommend one of these or any other? The Samsungs I saw, the 830 Pro and 840 Pro, are really expensive.
I can recommend the Mushkin Kronos.
I was actually going to say the same thing. I've got a Mushkin Kronos in the streaming computer. Works wonderfully.
Yeah, Tom's Hardware has given them good marks on their for the money. It's good price to performance ratio and a reliable unit. So yeah, I would go with the Mushkin Kronos.
Yeah, I haven't used the SanDisk. I haven't used Samsung's, but I've got the Mushkin Kronos. It's got great reviews on Newegg. I would tell
Samsung, and it works fine.
If you can afford it, yeah.
We'll see how fast it loads.
Well, I'm sure the Samsung actually outperforms the Mushkin. I'm not going to lie, but I can't afford it.
Well, the difference between normal hard drive and an SSD is so insane.
Yeah, it's so insane anyway that you'll notice a huge difference. Yeah. And then question number 2 here. I want to get rid of my headsets, either good sound for music, sports, games, a bad mic, or the other way around. And want to go headphones and microphones separate. Since there isn't any good store in my city, I can't just go try headphones, so I buy them online. Are there any specifications or details that would indicate possibly good, quote-unquote, sound quality? I've noticed that, at least in terms of when you're searching as a consumer on Amazon, searching for studio monitor headphones tend to have the truest sound reproduction that you could get. But you're also going to be paying a premium for studio monitors because they're studio monitors. So.
Now, I would recommend, just from my own experience, and I know it's good. They're good quality, and especially for the headphones I use, AKG. You're going to get something good from them. I've got cheap AKG 55s, which they don't make anymore, but they're good. They're good headphones.
The problem with audio is kind of you have to hold the device in your hands, and you have to listen to it.
Yeah.
Because even user reviews don't help you that much. Because some of those people are insane people.
And you know what? Everyone's ears are different too. Some people Some people don't care if they can't hear the high end and they get nothing but deep bass. Other people hate the fact that there is that if you go with like a studio monitors, there isn't that fake deep bass there. It's just a sound reproduction. So some people hate that. Some people think it sounds wrong or it sounds bad. What they don't realize is that they're idiots. But I mean, hey.
AKG K77. I would recommend those.
And I'm using the What am I using here? I'm using the Audio-Technica ATH M45s. They're really good, but you can see after a year of use, the ear pads tend to get worn out. But other than that, they're absolutely wonderful.
I would say the AKG K77 because it's only about $50.
Oh, really? Oh, well, then yeah, that's a lot better.
Yeah, good sound quality for the money.
Mine are like $200, man.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, the 50. Mine when I got mine new were about $50, and they work fantastic. So.
Mine work absolutely great, but I use them specifically for great audio playback. So.
Yeah, you kind of wear them all day.
Well, I wear them all day, and I get paid for it, so, I mean, that helps. That offsets the cost a bit. Oh, man. But, take Nash's recommendation. It's only $50, you know. It's, in terms of microphone, you don't need a $400 or $500 PR40. You could get a,
Blue Snowball.
Blue Snowball, love it. Probably the best USB microphone out there, hands down.
So for about $100, you'll be all set.
Yeah. Finally, I'm looking for a soldering iron. Are there any features I should be looking for? Is there a price range where you can basically forget the soldering irons that are too cheap? Actually, yeah, you know, there are a couple of things you should look for. What are you looking to solder? Because if you're going to go with, like, the low-end Radio Shack soldering iron that you can just get from, you can just get from Radio Shack.
Radio Shack.
I can't believe I said that. Unfortunately, I left my soldering kit in the car, so I can't show it to you right now. But the low-end one, it's a very high wattage, and it runs very, very hot. It is designed to get a wire very, very hot, so solder can wick onto it very quickly. But if you're going to do more delicate component work, such as on a motherboard, or you're going to build an Atmega board, an Atmel board for like an RC car or something like that, you know, some sort of hobbyist soldering, you're going to want to go with a cooler soldering iron. Not a cold solder iron. Don't confuse that. There's cold solder, which is... That's basically arts and craft. Is the best way I can put it right now. You'll find them in Walmart, and I don't use them for solder work for wires. Electronics, don't do that. But you don't want the low end. Ideally, what you want is a soldering iron that you can control the temperature on.
Yeah, I was about to say that. Yeah.
You can find them on the more dedicated electronic sites. Damn, what does Ben Heck pimp all the time? Who sponsors him? I forgot what it was. Damn it, who is it? Ben Heckendor has a show on Revision 3, and one of his major sponsor is this site. I forgot the name of it because I don't go there all that often, but they have Element 14. That's what it was. Thank you, Space Pope. Element 14, and they have a heat dial soldering iron.
Now, there's also some people like the wand style. I prefer the gun style because I feel like I have more control and I can grip it a little bit better.
It depends.
The wand style, you kind of have to try and hold it like a pencil. At least I do, and it doesn't really. It's me personally. I like the gun style better.
I've seen it really depends. The gun style I've seen really work really well in the automotive scene. But if you're talking components, you're talking micro components. You want. I really feel you need that fine precision of the wand style.
I use it for stuff like guitar wiring. And
guitar wiring, you don't want to use the wand because your hand's gonna fucking hurt, man. You want the gun. I mean, guitar wiring, automotive type of stuff. You want a gun, but if you're talking components and electronics, I think you want the wand style because you're gonna need to get that pin in there. That sort of thing. Also, if you're gonna get a soldering iron, don't forget to get a soldering wick or a solder sucker. Soldering wick is just like a ribbon that will wick away solder from components and wire. And you have to replace it because, there's only so much solder it can soak up. There's also a thing called a solder sucker, which, when you heat up the solder, it's like a vacuum tube it attaches to a soldering iron, and it just sucks the solder in. Either one works.
Multiple iron tips. Well, you say multiple iron tips. If you're burning through iron tips that much, you're doing something wrong.
Yeah.
No, but you want interchangeable tips.
You do want interchangeable tips. You don't need to go out and spend $100 on different tips, but you do want the ability to swap out the tips.
Right.
It doesn't have those. Don't.
No, I mean even the cheap Radio Shack one has them. I mean if it doesn't have them, I don't know what solder iron you got. I don't know what that is.
I've seen one. Just don't.
Ooh, that sounds horrendous. Imagine trying to clean that off. Ooh, no thanks. But yeah, that's the basics of soldering iron right there. It's they get really, really hot, so you can melt rosin core solder or iron core, whatever core solder you have. By the way, don't handle iron core solder with your hands. Just a little tip. Use gloves. You'll thank me. Down the line, you'll regret the iron poisoning. And that's really it in terms of soldering irons. Just don't, if you're gonna do microelectronics, don't use the cheap Radio Shack one. Get one that you can control the heat on. So when you're soldering in that Atmel board, or that Atmel chip, I should say, you're not burning the circuitry inside of it by just having that hot soldering gun next to it.
Right.
So.
Yeah, if you're doing like bare wires, like for example, if you're working in a guitar amp, if you're working in a guitar, you want something a little bit hotter. You want it to go faster and melt. And another thing you want to keep in mind when you're soldering, especially on wires and stuff, soldering clamps. What it does is it acts like a heat sink on your wire. So you clamp it onto the wire while you're working,
so
and
the rest of it doesn't melt.
Right, it doesn't transfer the heat down the line.
Ooh, this is a very nice one. Check this out. Darius just pointed out a very nice soldering gun station. It goes up to 60 watts. It has a temperature control, 3 presets, LCD display on it, and it's only $50.
Ooh.
That's not bad. It goes up to it only goes up to 450 Celsius. So you're not going to be doing anything beyond component soldering with this. You're not going to use this for a guitar or something like that. It's not hot enough for that solder, unfortunately. And you're not. By the way, you're not going to solder. You're not going to solder electrical wire with that, or at least 4-gauge electrical wire with it.
Yeah.
But it's pretty. That's pretty neat. Comes with a tip, 3-foot cord. Comes with the stand for it too, which is good.
And unless you've ever soldered before, sponge. You need a sponge, a wet sponge.
Oh yes.
What you do is you solder something, then you take the iron over to the sponge, and you wipe off the solder. Keep your iron clean.
Dirty iron is a dangerous iron.
Yes.
Because when you solder, you're going to see smoke going in the air. That's bad. And that smoke, if you don't have a clean tip, you don't have a clean iron, it's going to keep burning, and that's bad.
Yeah.
You want heat, not fire.
Yes, you want heat, not fire. You want melted solder on wire, not solder fumes in your brain.
Yes.
Because you're not going to get high off of that. You're just going to die. There's no high off of those fumes.
Gonna die, boy.
You're just going to die. Solder's very unforgiving when it comes to that.
Yeah, we're
It's
getting a
not
lot
that
of questions
dangerous.
just today.
Say that again?
So we're getting a lot of questions just today.
Good. I should keep rolling, keep on sending those questions, and we'll keep on going. Poor Nash. Sonetti writes, I'm finally out of college and earning my own money, so my first plan is to update all my daily tech. I'm going to need at least 2 separate systems and would like to take your suggestions for possible not too expensive builds, i.e. no more than $2,000 USD a piece. Which is not that bad. We could totally do this. This is very doable. I need a laptop, preferably running Windows, that can transition that can run translation memory tools such as SDL Trados and Pasolo, as well as bug tracking tools. Planning to work in video game localization. Specs for a translation memory tool, for example, can be found here. Okay. Non-reflecting display would be a big plus. I'm going to use my laptop almost exclusively for business. So what are the specs for this here? System requirements. Supports XP, 7, Vista, and 8. Well, we recommend a Pentium 4-based computer with a gigabyte of RAM.
You're fine.
You know what? I'm gonna
Anything would run that.
watch this. So you actually want to run this, and you're gonna use this for computing purposes. Here we go. I'm gonna go find you a laptop here. Okay, laptop, notebooks. Let's go to laptop/notebooks, not netbooks. I'm going to go lowest price, and I have found you one for $254. An LED netbook, Intel Atom 1.6 gigahertz, 10.1 inches.
Well, don't get a netbook.
Don't get that, but all I'm just saying is I've just found one for you, okay? I mean, you're talking low end here, man.
Any unit, any laptop you get will be fine for running what you're looking to do.
Now, if you need screen real estate, that's probably more important to you right now than anything else, is screen real estate. What I would recommend is probably going like a 17-inch monitor. a 17-inch screen on this one. Possibly looking on Newegg, some of the best rated ones would be the Asus here. It's $2,000. It's a Core i7, 16 gigabytes of memory, but under that $1,500 is an Asus i7 as well. You said
an i5 and an i7. That's what you want.
Yeah, look for i5, i7. You'll be. I mean, that'll last you forever.
Well, $2,000. That's a bit much for what he'll need.
I'm just saying, if you want the 7, considering the software he's going to be running, he's probably going to want a lot of screen real estate on that laptop. That's the way you'll want to go. But I mean, just shop around. Basically, my example is, you've got the lowest requirements I've seen in a very long time for software.
Yeah. And honestly, I'm looking around here. $600 is the most you really need. There's a 17-inch here with a Core i5, 4 gigs of RAM, 500-gigabyte hard drive. Yeah. Yeah,
I mean, listen, you could go maybe, if you want, maybe to future-proof it or maybe to play some games on it, go Core i5, I think. If you're going to be using it for business, but you're going to be taking it with you everywhere, especially if you may be taking it on plane rides, things like that, you want a little entertainment to go with it. I mean, why not, right? So I would say go ahead. Basically, you can't go wrong here, okay? If you're going to run just that software and that style of software, you really can't go wrong there. Just make sure you have enough RAM so, it's basically not future-proof, but it'll last you a while. Now, he also needs a gaming PC, which will probably be almost gaming only.
Build it.
Yeah, well, build it, obviously. $2,000, man, you don't need our help with $2,000. You don't need us to tell you what to build.
Yeah, don't waste your $2,000 for that.
I would
get a medium-range gaming PC and get another medium-range gaming PC like 2 years later.
I would honestly say you could build a great gaming PC for under $1,000, well under $1,000.
Yeah,
and it would max out any game that's out there today. Just to give you an idea for specs, you don't need a better than an i5 processor for a gaming PC. So get a Core i5 Ivy Bridge. I would personally recommend a Gigabyte motherboard. Make sure it has 2 PCIe slots on it and can hold at least
PCIe X16.
Yeah, PCIe X16 or PCIe 3.0. Make sure it has that option on it. Make sure it's got at least 4 RAM slots on it, and that's about all you need for a gaming PC.
Now, I would also hesitate to say that may not be all you want, because you do have to remember next year we are seeing the next iteration of the Xbox. We are going to see a year after that the next iteration of PlayStation. So I would say if you're going to build a gaming PC, hold off until the E3 announcement. See where Microsoft's going first. Are they actually going to go? Are they going to leapfrog the PC and subsidize another killer box, or are they going to go a different route with the Xbox?
The chances are very slim for that.
Well, let's see where they go. I would say because there is a chance that they're still going to be in the hardcore gaming market, which means they are going to have to push the graphics borders again. So you may want to hold off till E3, see where Microsoft goes. If they choose to go the home media route and they kind of underpower the next Xbox, then hey, what we're recommending today is going to be fine, absolutely perfect for you for the next few years to come.
He's got one other question, which is actually kind of an interesting question.
Yes, would a Dell OEM version of Windows 7 Pro work on a different brand of machine, say for Samsung? Plan to upgrade my current laptop from Vista to Win 7 until I have enough money for the 2 systems I described above.
No, it would not.
It would not?
Nope.
It would not. OEM versions of Windows are made to work with OEM, when we say OEM, original equipment manufacturer. So if it's a Dell brand version of Windows 7, when you install it, it's going to look at that Dell's BIOS and see if that is a Dell BIOS. Same with Sony, Samsung, Toshiba, all of them. They look at the BIOS of whatever
the install
machine.
disk or the license key? The license would...
The license key. But normally,
really?
even the install disks are made to run slipstream version. So you don't have to type in a key, but you have to put it on a machine that it checks the BIOS and makes sure it's a Dell system, and then it lets you install. If it's not, it will give you an error saying this software is not made to run on this. Some of them go with license keys, some of them are slipstreamed, but the bottom line is it's not going to work. If it's an OEM copy, it's got to go with, if it's a branded OEM copy, it's got to go with that machine.
Yeah, that's Windows. You know what?
Key on it, I would try it too.
The worst part is Windows used to never be like that. You used to be able to install it. You used to be able to use the install disk of Windows of any OEM and just get a license key and just install it. But you can't do that anymore. It's annoying.
And people are saying no, it doesn't. No, yes, there are. And do you know why I know this? Because
I've had it happen to me, man.
Because there is a specific crack for Windows 7 that is based entirely around spoofing the BIOS. It's a little slice of software that you install it, it runs just before Windows starts running. It spoofs the BIOS to allow it to run one of these OEM licenses on a non-OEM machine.
It's fun stuff, isn't it?
So that's kind of how that works. So that's why you need. And I'm telling you, don't do that. That's the basis of the crack, and that's how they make it work. Don't do that. It's a bad idea, but that's the mechanism they use.
One more question here before we take our next break. Can you guys recommend a Wi-Fi camera that dumps a JPEG every few minutes? I have a new neighbor who seems kind of sketchy.
I don't know. I know they make them. Off the top of my head, I've never used one. Newegg. Let's see what Newegg's got.
I've never actually used them before. I've never used Wi-Fi security cameras before. Oh, damn it. What is the name of that camera that has that? Oh, wait. Hold on. There's a whole brand of cameras. Where's the Google hacking database? Where are you? Come here. Is it... I think it's Hackers for Charity? Or is it Exploit DB? That's not it. This isn't it, but maybe it's this. Hang on. Sensitive online shopping info pages and login ports, various online devices. Let's see. Search. DDWRT. No. It's GHDB. That's the one I want. Let's see here. Axis. That's what it was. Axis network cameras. The Axis series of cameras are really amazing because when not properly configured in the Google hacking database, you will be able to search for Axis network cameras and find them just broadcasting all over Google because
oh shit,
they're kind of awesome. It's kind of fun to sort of look through them. I've done this. I've done it a few times on the stream, and it's really fun. But I would say,
did you find any porn?
No, I haven't found porn yet, but I have found I've found some interesting cameras that are on the top of multi-million-dollar mansions on the ocean.
Ooh.
So I mean there's some interesting cameras out there, and it's all because it's all just Google searches too. So anyway, Axis makes them as well. I don't have any
just
recommendations.
Secure them properly.
That's the only thing is my point I'm trying to get to is that even if you do get one of these, secure it properly, please. I don't have a recommendation. I never use them. Dropcam is another one that people seem to really like. I've never used it again. The Dropcam HD is in stock for $150 right now. Secure them properly because the way they work is they have a web server running on the camera and you connect to the camera. The unfortunate part is that if you are on a network that doesn't block a port 80 outgoing, you're going to be hosting a web server on your network. That's bad if you don't know what you're doing.
And it's really creepy if you use one as a nanny cam or some shit.
And someone else can see that. Ooh.
Yeah, it's pointed in your fucking nursery and shit. That's just creepy.
Yeah, but then again, keep it secure because that neighbor who seems sketchy and you're nervous about, if he finds out how to access that camera, he can see the hole in your security net.
Yeah.
And that's a bad thing.
It's creepy, don't do that.
It's creepy, don't do that. It's a bad thing. Alrighty, we're coming up on our next break here, live at LordCat.com, the How to Do It Marathon with Nash, Mark, and myself, Jason. if you want to listen in live, live.lordcat.com. Don't forget live365.com for the Radio Dead Air live stream. Just search for Radio Dead Air on live365.com or on the Live 365 app for Radio Dead Air. And we will.
So if you're not home and you just have your phone, you can listen to the show.
Yep, and we'll be back in about 15 minutes, folks. Just taking one last break here, and then we're going to go into, I think it's going to be the final hour of the How to Do It Marathon. We're running low on questions, but maybe we can get one more hour out of it. We'll see. We've got other things to talk about. Don't worry. I've got to talk about the car PC and the plans that I've got for it, so, you know. Alrighty, folks, we'll be back in just a little bit for the remainder of the How to Do It Marathon.
Oh. I have no idea about security cameras. Well, I'm searching Google databases right now.
I love that Google hacking database, by the way. Awesome.
Raptor Jesus says, I'm running a Phenom 2 X6 1100T platform for gaming. Any point to upgrade to another system? Right now, you're good.
Not yet.
No, you're good.
Wait for the next consoles.
Yeah. Honestly, they did do some tests to find out that CPU does matter. Your GPU still matters more. That's CPU does matter to gaming speed, but the GPU does matter more than your CPU.
It only matters to gaming speed because the games they tested with are retarded ports from consoles.
Yeah, so I would, if you really are looking to get any more performance out of your system, just get a more recent gaming card, and you'll get more performance out of it.
Yeah, since the advent of vertex shaders and vertex buffer objects and vertex arrays, all the calculation is done on the graphics card. Remember back in the day,
most of it is
Lightning.
Say that again.
Remember back in the day, games you could select hardware transform and lightning. Yeah,
Yep.
that is, you can't select that anymore because the program doesn't even know what triangles it's sending you anymore, because they put them on in the graphics card and everything, transform, lightning, positioning, everything is done on the graphics card.
The less matrix transformations a programmer has to do, the better he is.
I'm gonna go start food going because I'm starving. I'll be back.
No problem, dude. You got 15, so. Oh, God almighty. I can't believe it's 7 o'clock. Oh, man. So, how you doing, chat room? Getting tired. Listen, I was up all night partying with the Christmas party. I drank an entire bottle of fucking Jack Daniels on my own. Woke up this morning at 7:30 in the morning to a text message from Mom and my sister, both of whom were wishing me a Merry Christmas at 7:30 in the morning. And I got up, I went downstairs, sat on the couch. It's both sleeping.
Why 7?
I don't know why 7:30 in the morning. I don't know how they were up. But they were. How am I not dead? Listen, I'll be honest with you, after this marathon's over, I'm probably not going to be streaming much longer tonight. I'm going to go to bed. I'm not going to lie. I'm a little tired. Beep, 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 beep. My battery's down to 0%. Give me a second.
Ooh, that's not good.
My battery's at 0. That sucks. Battery power. Oh, man.
Food is microwaving. It's going to take about 5 minutes.
Oh, that's cool, man. We got another 10.
Yay! I will eat.
No, I ate too much the last 2 days.
24 hours of A Christmas Story.
It's well, you know what? They've done it every year. Fuck it, I don't care.
It's so weird, though.
Why?
You know there is one guy who's watching it.